Hi, and welcome to Own Your Peace. I'm your host, Andy Thewison, and today we are diving into something I feel like is very Taurus energy as we are fully in Taurus season. I always like to think about from Parks and Rec, Donna and Tom and their treat yourself days where they would go and everything that they would do, it would be treat yourself. And so that is always for me in the biggest embodiment of Taurus energy. And it's all about treating ourselves and really enjoying the finer things of life, enjoying this human experience. So I always think about Taurus and manifesting what we want. So I thought a fun direction to go today would be how to use this beautiful grounding energy of Taurus and that slow, let's build beautiful things in our lives with human design to help you step into more manifesting energy and more manifesting power and really understanding what your signature code is for doing just that. So, we're going to really tap into this beautiful, slow moving, luxurious Taurus energy and really how that weaves right into human design and understanding a couple key elements from your human design chart and how those things can help you really manifest what it is you want to bring into your experience here as we're doing this human thing. I'm really excited about this topic. So we'll dive right into it. When we think about Taurus energy, it is this slower moving energy. It is something that we are building over time. It's putting in the work. It is the not necessarily the monotonous, but really the putting in value and putting in the time and effort to build something that's beautiful, that's lasting, that's gorgeous to us. So there is this like tactile energy when it comes to Taurus. And it really is this like grounding energy. It's slow moving. It's like this opportunity for us to like, we just got through, I talked about this a couple episodes ago with the energy now. Aries is very fast moving energy. It's like, shoot first, ask questions second kind of energy. It's really like gangbusters. And then we move into the slow your roll energy of Taurus, where things are a little bit more methodical. We think things through. We're very judicious when we are moving through this energy, but it's not this quick moving energy. It's very slow. It's very purposeful. It's very intentional. And I think that this is like a perfect time to kind of push pause and really get very intentional with what it is we want to create in this new astrological year. We had some really big ideas and big expansions through that, eclipse portal and through Aries season. And now it's time to like kind of like, okay, that was a lot of energy. Let's kind of like slow down, put on the brakes, let's put on some smooth jazz, light some candles, and really start being very intentional with what we're creating. And this is really more that intentional, purposeful energy versus forcing things to happen, which can kind of be that Aries energy where we're like bold and forceful in our movements. And Taurus is really like, well, let's slow our roll. Let's take a beat. Let's build something that's beautiful. So I really do just love this energy. And really, manifesting works so much smoother when we are in a really beautiful, regulated state with our nervous system. So, last week I really spoke about regulating. I know right now there's a lot of chaos in the world, there's a lot going on, and regulating our nervous system is key for manifestation. If we're in this energy of survival or fight or flight or worrying about outcomes, it's really hard to build from that place. It is really a place of fear and anxiety. And so the more we can ground into like, okay, let me look at things right now. Right now, we're in a good place. We've got plenty of things going on. The sky's the limit. Really, the biggest thing I can say is when you're in anxiety, you're hanging out too far in the future. You're worrying about things that don't quite exist yet. And then obviously depression is really like ruminating on things that are in the past. So the more we can stay present, and that was a big oversimplification of things. I do understand that there are lots of things that contribute to mental health. A lot of those things are chemical imbalances, things that are going on within our personal lives. So I don't want to discredit that at all. But a lot of times when we are in the past and we're worried about our failures, that's when the depression kind of comes in. And then we're worried about what's going on in the future. So we can feel anxious and fearful. about what's happening moving forward. So the more we can really ground in the present and work through some of those tools I gave you last week, you can really stay in that present place. And that helps you to manifest from a better place. So if you are spiraling or kind of having a hard time right now, get really present and really focus on gratitude and what you currently have. Most of us have the ability to do lots of things and we have more wealth than most of the world. I know sometimes that it feels hard to believe that because we are on social media and everyone seems to have these beautiful houses and these perfect lives and everything. We think that that's the normal thing, but really, for most of the world, having running water, having a bed to sleep in, having a roof over our heads are luxuries. And we forget to really be grateful for those things. So the more that we can really drink in gratitude and be grateful for the small, beautiful things, this right goes back to romanticizing our lives. And the more we stay in gratitude, the more we look at how much abundance already surrounds us. The fact that you have more than one pair of shoes, abundance. The ability that you are able to get groceries in your home, that's abundance. So really focus on those areas in your life that you do have abundance. You have a family that loves you. You have all these beautiful things around you. Be grateful for those things, because when we are in gratitude for what we do have, the universe sees that and it is able to produce more for us. So really being really grounded in the present, and really with that Taurian energy is celebrating the little luxuries in our lives and being grateful for the luxuries in our lives. Like, even if it's just a cute minky blanket or a soft cozy blanket from wherever you get your blankets, just being grateful for that tactile feeling of the softness on your skin or the clean sheets. There's so many grateful things to be grateful for. So I want you to get really present, and the more present we are, the more we stay in this now moment and in from a place of presence and gratitude, then we start to create what we want more of, what we want to bring into our experience. I want you guys to think about this. The nervous system is the soil and your dreams are the seeds. So the more we have this regulated, beautiful energy of calmness, the more the fertile that ground is. But if it is filled with anxieties and fears and what if scenarios and all these mistakes we made in the past, and that's guiding our fear, that's going to be a really terrible soil to plant any seeds in. So just really think about, the more grounded I am, the more fertile my soil is, the more I'm going to be able to turn these things into manifestations moving forward. So I'm going to break it down a little bit based on your energetic type and how you're best meant to manifest. So I'm going to go through, again, each energetic type. We'll go into a couple key things, and then I want you to look at a couple other elements on your human design chart that can help you kind of round out the picture on how to manifest. And don't worry, you don't have to take notes. I created a quick little worksheet, if you will, that you can help you identify these areas and kind of help you map out a plan. So I'll have it in the show notes below. Just print that out and then find your chart, and you can fill these things out, and it can help you really have some clues and tools on manifesting your life. So I always think about manifestation with Taurus season, because we're in such fertile season right now. It is the time to plant. So I love that for us. And as we move through these seasons, so we'll start right off the bat with manifestors. So manifestors, your strategy is to inform and act. So again, you're going to have this communication with source where you get these urges and these ideas, and they are coming from a place of alignment. So the more regulated you are, the more you're in that present moment, the more those urges are going to come through. But when we add this beautiful, slow moving, really graceful energy of Taurus, slow your roll just a little bit. I know you guys are high powered. You have a lot of energy, especially when those urges come in. It's like blinders are on and it's a go. But if you just really take your time before you initiate, ground in those urges as they come in. Are they truly yours? Are they what's going to lead you to that next level? Really sit with your urges just for a little bit. Slow your roll, sit in and luxuriate that urge, and think about and dream about it and really kind of spend a little bit of time with it to kind of get the whole picture before you go gangbusters, which I know is easier said than done with my manifestors because it's like as soon as that urge comes in, it's like so heavy that need to complete and to initiate and to get moving on things. But I really do think if you just take that beat and maybe spend some time in nature or meditating, you'll get more guidance and that beautiful space of slowing it down just a notch. So I hope that's helpful. Here's some practices that you could try. You could try journaling your urges. I know you guys have that beautiful divine throat, so you might just want to like talk it out, use some voice notes. Some really beautiful silent walks would be helpful. A lot of grounding is so helpful with you because you guys all of a sudden it's like this lightning bolt has hit and it can be a lot in your body. Finding a way to ground that energy in through that walking, through allowing yourself to settle into it so that you can use it to guide you as opposed to it taking over a little bit. So those are some things for my manifestors. Now we move to generators and manifesting generators. So I'm going to talk to you guys both because you guys are both here to wait to respond. So again, you guys have this beautiful dance with the universe. You're going to put your desires out there, and then the universe is going to start sending you things that are in alignment for what you asked for. And for you, you simply need to wait for those things to roll in for you to respond to. So it's going to be like, I put that desire out there, and all of a sudden, you're going to start to see these things come in to help you receive what it is that you've asked for. So, again, going to that gut response, does that feel like a yes? Does that feel like, yes, that's the thing I need to respond to? You're going to feel it in your body. So, again, using that Taurus wisdom of like, don't rush things, savor the process, trust what lights you up will reveal itself. So, this comes to that beautiful kind of differentiation between flow and hustle. So a lot of times for generators, you guys get so excited about things. You just want to hustle, hustle, hustle. But when we slow the hustle and really melt into a beautiful flow, things just kind of magically move and there's not this forcing. So again, taking a beat and waiting for like all the things to come in until you feel really grounded in it, and then wait. Then you're going to follow that really beautiful sacral yes. So again, some beautiful manifestation practices for my generators and manifesting generators are really like embodying that sacral yes, celebrating it. Dancing is beautiful because it helps you flow with the energy. Some nature hikes, getting cozy with creativity, really sinking in to those feelings as these things come in. So again, allow yourself to wait for it to come to you, for you to receive whatever that next step is to get to what it is you put out there. Melt into the deliciousness of moving a little slow. I think that several years ago, I mean, it kind of still is out there, that whole hustle culture where we were like, we have to be the best, you're going to sleep when you're dead. All that energy really kind of got us out of alignment because instead of flowing, instead of like listening to our guides and our guidance and really our inner self, we put all this emphasis and energy on hustling and like moving and going and doing and being always intrinsically motivated, which none of us are meant to always be motivated. There's going to be times where we have these ebbs and flows to our motivation. And in those ebbs, that's where I really love talking about unproductive productivity time, which I think really ties into this whole concept of slowing our roll and allowing ourselves to receive ideas, receive inspiration, and really sitting with them for a hot minute before we take action. So I think that's really important here to bring up. Okay, and now for my projectors. So, projectors, your strategy is to wait for that invitation. So, for you, we've talked about this before, is you really do need to embody rest, to embody a slow moving life because you're not meant to hustle. You're not meant to be going all the time. The more you can kind of sit with a slow moving morning, a luxurious morning, kind of taking your time, taking the bubble baths, taking the nature walks, really like allowing yourself to move at your own pace. which is really hard to do. I know, especially if you work a 9 to 5, but finding those pockets of time within your day where you can just kind of like go at your own pace. Maybe it's you have, a coffee break or a lunch break and you go outside and you sit in the sun or you take your time during those breaks. The worst thing that I would say for a projector, if you're in a 9 to 5 situation, is not giving yourself breaks. Allowing yourself to work through lunch and not quit, like feeling like you have to be on all day long. Take the breaks, take the walks, really allow yourself to move slowly, because again, when you're focused, a projector can get more done in 2 to 3 hours than most people can get done in 8 to 10, because when we're focused on something, we're so highly concentrated, we can like knock stuff out so quickly. And then we feel like we have to keep working for the 8 hours, even though we got so much more done. So that's a little note to you employers. If you start really trusting your projectors to work, maybe, focused work for like maybe half days, you're going to get more out of your projectors because they're literally just putting time on the clock. They're getting more done in a small amount of time than you think. So really allow yourself to own your energetic nourishment so that invitation come more quickly to you. One thing I've noticed in my own life is the more that I allow myself to be in positions with that I'm seen, on a podcast, when I'm putting myself out there and sharing my gifts to the world, but in a place of like giving and sharing and loving what I do, I get way more invitations. My calendar is fuller. I have more speaking invitations. These things just kind of flow for me. But when I'm feeling like I have to hustle and put content out to just put content out, and it's not in alignment because I'm feeling like I'm just filling a calendar, that's when it gets sticky for me. And I don't get as much growth and as much satisfaction from when I do put my work out there. Like it just doesn't land the same way as it does when I'm in a really aligned place, when I'm acting upon what I truly see and inspiration and that connection with the divine. So those are some things to think about. And then manifestation practices for projectors that can work really, really well are making sure you're setting clear energetic boundaries. You're practicing deep rest and visualizations from a place that you're already worthy. The biggest thing I always tell projectors, if you've ever done a reading with me, you've heard this from me, is the most important thing for a projector to do is to see themselves first, to see and recognize what they're good at and what their gifts are. And when you own what you bring to the table and you are like so clear on it, you become even more magnetic for those invitations. So, something really important to remember. Now, last but not least, my reflectors. So, reflectors, your strategy is to wait a lunar cycle. So, you very much move with this Taurus energy of moving slower. So, embrace it. You don't move like 99% of the world. So, allow yourself to move slowly, allow yourself to roll with the rhythms of nature and to honor the time it takes you to get to clarity. The reason it takes you a lunar cycle is literally your personality changes with every moon move. So you're going to be a little bit more bold when moon is in Aries. You're going to be a little bit softer when moon is in Pisces. The most important thing for a reflector is to have a very good way of tracking moon cycles. Every day on my broadcast channel on Instagram, I'm telling you where the moon's at. That would be a great thing to look at. And you're like, okay, cool. Moon is in Capricorn. I'm going to be a little bit more focused on my goals during this little 2-day cycle. So you're really moving through, 12 versions of yourself over 28 days. So that's why those wait for that moon cycle is so important for my beautiful, rare reflectors. Honor the time it takes. So, manifestation practices for you as a reflector, daily body scans. Where are you at today? Again, we just talked about moon tracking, such a beautiful tool. Gentle movement, moving with the flow of things. Tai Chi could be a really cool thing. Allowing yourself to really slow your roll and luxuriate on things as you're making those decisions. And, as a reflector, universe is really meant to flow with you. You are meant to be surprised and delighted. So as soon as you start putting those desires out there, things just work for you. You're in the right place at the right time. You make the right connections. So when life is easy for you, you know you're in alignment. When things feel hard and tough and you're disappointed and disillusioned by life, that's when you know you're not in that present, beautiful space of alignment. Some things to think about. Now, let's just talk about some generalities. So, I always say your sense is the one of the beautiful things to look at when we are talking about human design and we're talking about manifestation. Your cognition is going to be smell, if your taste, if your outer vision, inner vision, feeling, or touch. Those are the cognitions. And these are based on your digestion arrow. And that is the top left arrow. I'm honest, full disclosure, I'm terrible at left or right. Just going to put it out there, but it's your top left arrow. And then there's numbers underneath that arrow. And whatever number it is, that's going to kind of tell you how this is developed. And I go into depth when I teach this concept, but we'll just kind of you're going to know what it is. Some different charts don't include this information, but I do include it if you run your chart on my site. Again, I will add that link below it. If you don't know what your cognition is, it is very helpful. And your cognition is your spidey sense. It is the sense that you are able to read the world with. It is your strongest sense. So if you have smell, you are going to be obviously sensitive to smells. So that also means you have a really strong sense of discernment. So think about the phrase like, it smells like a rat. This ties right into it. So really feel into your instincts and intuition when you're in the manifestation process. Discerning your spirit. What does that look like for you? What do you want to create for yourself? What feels right for creating for yourself? Those are things you're going to think about. And then we add that smell element. How could you add smells to your manifestation process? Just for an example, if you're wanting to manifest a new car, take in the energy of sitting with envisioning what that new car smells like. It smells like this beautiful Italian leather. You get the idea. Just play with it. Go on a little trip through smell and envisioning what it smells like when you receive what it is that you want. Some really helpful tools there if smell is yours. And if your taste, you are literally meant to be a tastemaker. So this is where you're cultivating a taste. What elements do you want to bring? So going and getting a Pinterest board with all the things that you want to curate your life with is super helpful. I always say taste people do really well with vision boards because it's this curation process. So anywhere where you can curate and kind of hone your taste works really well if taste is your style. And obviously you're very sensitive to taste. That's a whole nother element of this, your spidey sense. If you are outer vision, the way you see the world is going to help you manifest. So again, a vision board would be really great for a person who has outer vision because they're constantly looking at it and you're seeing images of what you want to create for yourself. So these are people who should go to the open houses of the houses that they want to manifest. You should go to the dealership and see the car that you want to manifest. Make it a very visual process when you're manifesting. These are the people who really kind of need to see it before they believe it. Maybe if you're wanting to have a certain amount in your bank, create a fake bank statement that has that amount on there so you're seeing it. So, and think about ways that you can see your goals or whatever it is you're trying to manifest come to reality more so. Just think about how can your eyes see this happening for my outer vision people. Now, for my inner vision people, it's your imagination. You want to go into imaginary land. So visualizations are so important for my inner vision people. Like you literally can sit down and imagine and go in your own little inner world and visualize, create a whole world within your inner vision for that manifestation process. What does it look like? Build it out in your imagination. What does the house look like? What does the car look like? What does the bank account look like? Really go inward with that third eye and see it. Spend time in the imagination building. You guys have such a killer imagination. It's so amazing. Spend time with it. Spend time daily in visualization dates, if you will, where you're spending time seeing these things come to life. And that is very powerful if you're using inner vision. Now, the next one is feelings. You guys are my ultimate vibe checkers. This is me. So if you have feeling as your cognition, it is all about vibration and frequency for you. So for you, it is more important for you to be at a higher frequency and vibration when you're in a manifestation process. So if you're getting kicked down by life and you're in low vibes, it's going to be harder for you to manifest those things. So really try to stay in higher vibration. So that's where play and fun and goofiness and silliness is a little bit more important for people who have a feeling vibe, because they need to be in that energy of that higher vibration to attract. Because when we're in the higher vibrations, that's what we attract. So for you, feeling into things is so important. So you add that element of feeling. What does it feel like when you have that money in your bank account? What does it feel like in your new house? Really imagine the energy and the feelings, the frequency it would take for you to have that thing you're trying to manifest. So that's the most important thing for my feeling people. Now we move on to touch. And this is where it's kind of fun because it's more that tactile energy. That's, Taurian energy, that Taurus energy of like, what does it feel like when you have these things? Use your hands to build something. So again, you could do a craft project like a vision board would work well here. But let's say you want to manifest a car. Go to the dealership, touch the leather steering wheel, touch the beautiful seats, touch the smoothness of the car, really get tactile with what it is you want to create for yourself. If you're wanting to build a home, go to the model homes, go to the open houses. What does it feel like on your hands? Get really tactical when you're in that manifestation process so that you have a feeling through your hands of what it is that you're wanting to create for yourself. So those are some things that you can use to up the ante a little bit based on your cognition. And again, using your senses makes it feel more real. And the more we can tap into our senses, and then, we just went over what your top sense is, it's going to heighten that even more so for yourself. It's really magical when we can dive into these things. And another thing that we can really look at too is when we're looking at our arrows. I love arrows. I should do a whole course just on the arrows because it's such great information. Okay, if we're looking at the bottom right arrow, if it is left, you're what's called a specific manifester. So as a specific manifester, you are meant to really get in on the nitty-gritty details of whatever it is you're trying to manifest. So if you are a specific manifester, then you need to get very clear on what it is. It's almost like I want you to pretend like you're at a restaurant. You're putting your order in. I want a steak. I want it medium rare, which is a tinge of pink. I want a blue cheese crust on top. I want a sweet potato fully decked out. And every little finite detail that you would like, you need to get in on the nitty-gritty detail. So the more focused you are, the more specific you are with the details of what it is that you'd like to bring into your experience, the more magical that becomes for you. Now, if that same arrow, if you have one that points right, then you are going to be what's called a non-specific manifester. So for you, it is more the energy of things, the more the vibe of things. Everyone has the same job. Get clear on what you want. I think that's the hardest thing for humans to decide is what is it that you want? I always think about the Notebook. What do you want? That's where we're at. Like, it's so hard to decide. We all know what we don't want, but sometimes it's really hard to get clear on what it is what we want. So all of us do need to get clear on what it is that we do want to create for ourselves. That's job number one. And then we go to specific. So if you're a focused or a specific manifester, nitty gritty details. And then we flip the coin on that and non-specific, you're going to be more into the energy of having it. So what I want you to do is if you're a non-specific manifestor and that arrow is right, you're going to really think about the emotions of having it. So it's kind of similar to the feeling energy that we talked about earlier. Let's say you want to manifest a boat. So you're going to envision your family on this boat, the wind's blowing through your hair. You can feel the sun on your skin. It's so fun sitting back and enjoying the music that's pumping. your kids are having a great time learning how to ski. It's this magical moment that the lights dancing on the water, and it looks like these little light fairies get this beautiful imagery and emotion. We're not worried about if it's a nautique or I don't know boats, but other kinds of boats. Like, we're not worried about the nitty gritty details of the boat. We know we want a surf boat. We can let it go after that. And then we really embody the emotion. So how could these two things work together? For example, I am a feeling person. But I also am focused. So I need to get really nitty gritty on the details of what I want to create for myself. And then once I know exactly what it is I want, then I go into the feeling of having it and the emotions of having it. So see how these things, they might seem like they're not cohesive, but they are. So I get really clear on what it is I want. I want this specific thing. And then I can go into the emotional side of it, of how it's going to feel like when I have it. So those things can work really well together. The same thing if you're a non-specific manifester and you're like in the emotions of it. And then you add in your outer vision. So you can go experience a feeling what it's going to be like when you're in this space, like going to the open house and pretending like it's your house and you're inviting people in and everyone's over for dinner and you're on the back patio. Really have fun with this. That's the thing. Sometimes we look at the manifestation process and it can feel like it's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a million manifestation coaches out there. They all say different things. Some of them say the same things and just reiterate it differently, but it makes the system seem really complicated. And I want you to simplify it. I want you to have fun with this. I want you to play with this. This is an experiment. Try playing with some of these things and see if these things work better for you than what you've been doing in the past. The most important thing is, again, being in a playful energy. And with this beautiful Taurus energy where we're planting seeds, feel it, have fun with it, play with it, romanticize it, light a candle, have fun enjoying this time of planting and using these beautiful tools from your human design and from, we've talked about so many different things here on this show, but I think these are some really cool things that you can look at. And then again, of course, that free helpful guide to kind of filling this in and will help you out quite a bit with this process. One thing I do have to say, and this is a thing I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to, and it's a huge universal law that often gets forgot in the manifestation process. So we have all these beautiful rituals and crystals and all these things about manifestation. But one thing that isn't talked about enough is the universal law of action. So we're going to put the manifestation out there. We're going to do the things to be in the energy of it, the dreaming of it, the vision boards, all these things. And then universe is going to come in and it's going to give us ideas. It's going to give us inspiration. And that's where I want you to, whether you're a manifestor, you're going to get an urge of what you need to do next to create that manifestation for you. If you're a generator, a manifesting generator, you're going to have something come into your orbit that you're like, yes, that's my next step. I'm going to respond to that. If you're a projector, an invitation might come in. It might be a new client. It might be an opportunity. It can even be an idea, because in a lot of ways, projectors are meant to co-create with the universe, where you're creating things from a space of an invitation from the universe with an idea. I want to keep that clear. So, and then reflector, you're going to have that time of sitting with the idea for a little bit before it comes to fruition. So there is this dance of waiting for something from the universe to guide us to our next step. And that next step is the universal law of action. And if we miss that step, we're going to miss out on manifesting. We have to take action, specifically guided action, towards our goals. And the more we allow ourselves to be in that alignment where we get those guided actions, the more our manifestations can come to reality. I'm not saying miracles don't happen. We just can't like put it out there and then just wait on our hands and not do anything expecting something to show up for us. We have to go buy the lottery ticket. We have to, create the product that came in. We have to make the phone call. Like, whatever that, little bit of guidance is from the universe, we have to take action on it. And when we do so, magic can start to happen in our lives. A lot of people miss that step of action. They just think things are going to magically happen for them. And sometimes they do. I'm not going to take that away. But a lot of times it is a co-creation with the universe where you have to do the work too. You've got to do your side of this. So keep that in mind. And remember, manifestation is a marathon. It is not a sprint. So this is something that we're continually working on. And again, the more we slow down, the more we speed up. When we're intentional, when we're purposeful, things move easier for us. There's not this pushing and this striving and this hustling and this resistance that comes when we push instead of flow. So those are some things that really are so important to remember right now as we're planting seeds for the future in this fertile Taurus season. It's very connected to the earth, where it's an earth sign. Your body knows when it's in alignment and when it's not. Trust it. If you're feeling super regulated and things are feeling really good, then you know you're in alignment. And if you're feeling really dysregulated and feeling very agitated or not really focused, then you know you're out of alignment. Trust that. Trust, go back to that last episode and find some ways to help you get more regulated. So, in closing, pick up the grounding practices that I talked about from last week and use this guide to really help create a plan for manifestation. And if you need even more guidance, I go into way more of this in a reading. I would love to work with you one-on-one, either through coaching or through a session. Let's make some goals happen. Let's manifest some beautiful things for ourselves. I really do love this energy, this time of year. It's a great time to think about the fertile grounds of manifestation, and Taurus energy really helps guide us and helps us do it in a really very intentional, very focused way. Tauruses know how to treat themselves. And isn't that what manifesting is all about, is creating a life where we're really truly treating ourselves every day. Much love, and we'll see you next week.